Dr. Castleberry here with our Week 4 discussion prompt. Week 4's discussion prompt comes from a number of you commenting on or pointing out Berger's exploration of semiotics in his book Messages specifically. And on page 55, Berger is talking about one of the foremost theorists of semiotics, which we can understand broadly as the study of signs and symbols. And so on 55 in chapter 3, Berger's looking at Umberto Eco and what we could understand as lying with signs. Okay, and so the principle behind this is that we use signs and symbols in everyday life, and yet oftentimes we start to forget or mistake that the signs and symbols we use are merely stand-ins for things and not the thing itself. And so this can not only lead to some confusion of terms of maybe sort of how we process and make sense of reality, but unfortunately, these types of signs and symbols, or many forms, many signs and symbols, can be used to mislead as well. And sometimes we want to be misled, right? Sometimes misleading can be fun. It can be entertaining, right? Many of our entertainments, we all recognize they are productions, and so those are deliberate manipulations of signs and symbols for our pleasure, right? And at the same time, signs and symbols can do covert work, right? They can be manipulated in ways that we could potentially view as negative, right, or have negative consequences as a result of those communications. Okay, and so coming from our fantastic Week 3 discussion questions, so many of you commented on Umberto Eco's section of Chapter 3 and this idea that signs can be used as lies. That felt appropriate that we engage that for this week's discussion prompt. So I'll take a lead here and provide an example, and then your goal with the Week 4 video discussion response is to identify a way, an example in which a sign or symbol system lies to us, right? Or you. It could be something in your everyday life, or something that you think of, in that creative brainstorming process. And so, when I think about this philosophy that signs can be used as lies, a couple of things come to mind, right? We have actual signs. We have actual signs, say like a restroom sign, and they have symbols, right? And so they're pointing us to a place where we can go. When in reality, in realistic terms, and children can teach us this, as they do, we can go, we can use the restroom anywhere. Shh. But society has created a set of standards and rules with which we must, practice following the signs, right? So the state fair comes to mind, something recently going on in Oklahoma. And if you if you go to the state fair, let's hope you're following the signs to a restroom, whether it might be like, the porta potty, can't get the smell out of my mouth, or mouth, not mouth. It permeates into your mouth, but never mind. There was no mouthing and porta pottying. Let me clarify that. But also sort of the indoor units and things like that. So the bathrooms come to mind as an example. I think of the way advertising functions in general. I don't want to spill the beans on that too far. And if you have future courses with me, thinking about those advertising, marketing, branding courses that we will offer, we're going to get really heavy into that. We will bring semiotics back up to discuss how ads are created and how they use signs and symbols to persuade us, all right? So something else that comes to mind, our main text for the semester, James Bond, Agent 007, right? And so James Bond, super spy, how does he use, what kinds of signs and symbols does a James Bond use to fulfill his role and kind of project that narrative direction? And so we can think about maybe this character, right? This person that's always on mission as a secret agent. He's using signs and symbols such as, dressing very upper class, right? A kind of middle upper class sense of style. And so what does that mean to do? The whole idea behind this is that it's disalarming, right? And so someone that we would mistrust in society typically looks like someone else or something out of the norm, and that's why we get a thrill out of these spy fictions is the surprise of the reveal that someone that otherwise looks normal, for lack of a better term, it turns out to be, right, some kind of agent or foreign agent, right, or threat or foe. So that's an example of an instance where signs lie to us, right? We can think about the things we wear, not unlike James Bond, and how we use fashion or style to project one reality, one social status, when in fact it may not be true. So I look forward to your responses about how signs and symbols lie to us.